emotions, but from a slightly different perspective. As I slightly introduced the last time, we're gonna start, we're gonna focus on adverbs for most of the lesson. But first, I wanted to ask you whether you prepared an emotion sun, or whether you didn't. In case you did, we can use that for the questions. In case you didn't, we can improvise, I guess, and ask a couple of things. Has anybody done their homework? I don't bite, you can tell me. So much silence. Oh my gosh, what happened?
Oh, I can see that Miss Sheila wants to say something. Miss Sheila. Right, Miss Sheila? Miss Sheila? Hello?
I think your signal might be a little bit laggy.
Yeah, right. You're right. Miss Sheila? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, Miss. Hello, the signal.
Oh, yeah, bad signal. Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
How about Mr. Silvanus?
Also, Mr. Silvanus is gone as well.
Okay, so probably Mr. Belsing wants to say something. I can hear your voice. I can hear your voice.
This is actually the same thing we did back in the days. But yeah, if you guys have done it, it's we can use it. Otherwise, we can also do something else. We talked a lot about this stuff the other time, so we can also focus on the next thing. It was just to hear you talk in the past tense. Yeah, I was just reading the chat. Yeah, we noticed that the signal is having some
really
problems.
Bad, yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Right. Well, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know whether Miss Sheila wants to maybe share what she did via, I don't know, chat or WhatsApp or something, so
or
we
maybe,
can share it.
by chat here, so everyone can see. Yeah.
Is it possible to share it? Oh yeah, it is. I've never shared files on on Zoom. I realized. Yeah, it's possible.
It is. You also, Miss Sheila can also chat here. Here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Miss Sheila or Miss Laras. Yeah. Okay, probably Miss Becky.
Okay, we can
we can start
move to the next one.
Yeah, we can start from you to ask Mr. Belsing, because it's such a long time. Yeah. He's been like about 10 years didn't come back.
Yeah, something like that. So long.
It's already 10 years. My goodness.
I don't know. Do you want to maybe talk about some events from the past, let's say, month? Just a couple of things, and tell us how those things made you feel or something?
I don't know. I don't do many events back in the day because it's COVID. So maybe yearbook photo.
Yearbook.
Yes,
Oh,
yearbook.
I love it.
So probably like 3 weeks ago, my class, my teacher, when I at junior high school, she chat in the group, and she was like, share the link that you must take photos or selfies or group photos, and then you put it on that link or the drive. So I take a photo, and I saw my crush photos back in the day when I still having a crush on her, and she was like still beautiful, and I'm interested in her again, but I heard news that she has a boyfriend, and
Oh no,
I was like,
she's the one you were talking about, right? The one who's good at English.
yes. Oh no. So I feel sad about that, very sad. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah, thank you for sharing. I'm so sorry for that.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for that.
Yeah, you know, as they say, there is plenty of fish in the sea, and also I don't know. You're still young, so maybe I don't know. I don't want to say such a. I mean, it's not very nice to say, but maybe you know they won't stay together forever. I think it's also possible because you're very young, so you know. I mean, things can be short in that period of time, I guess. So who knows what the future holds. But I'm sorry to hear. So you said that you feel sad. How would you say it if it were a sentence in the past?
Felt.
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
No, you don't need to be sorry. It's a tricky tense, I think, for Indonesians because you don't have the past, right? So it's one of the trickiest one for everyone, I think. So don't worry. It's just, and I know you know it. It's just a matter of, I guess, practicing so that it comes natural, I think. Miss. Oh, so it's only us now. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think the weather, it's really
I
like,
think so.
I don't
Yeah.
know what happened with the weather,
Yes.
but here it's about to rain. Probably after rain. I have no idea because I'm still inside the room. So
Yeah,
Maybe the weather is bad in East Indonesia.
Yeah, and I think Mr. Silvanus is in East Indonesia, right? I mean, I think Papua is in the east part, right? Or
yes.
Okay. And I think Miss Sheila already said her signal was bad, and Miss Laras was also doing an exam, so I don't know. Anyway, I guess it's just us, so I guess we can move to the next activity. You were actually very good at this, at the adverbs, Mr. Belsing. So I don't know how much of an explanation you need, but I'm just going to say it anyway in case anyone wants to watch the lesson as well on YouTube or something. So we're going to focus on adverbs of manner. There are many types of adverbs, but you know, there are too many to tackle in one time. So we're just gonna focus on adverbs of manner, which basically describe how something is done. So the main way to turn an adjective into an adverb of manner is to add ly at the end. And that's for the majority of the adverbs. So here there are some examples. Cheap becomes cheaply, quick becomes quickly, and strong becomes strongly. There are a few exceptions on how to write it, even though they still finish with ly. Some adjectives, specifically the ones that already finish, end with a y, add an I before li. So basically, ready becomes readily, merry becomes merrily, easy becomes easily, and so on for all those that ends with a y. And then we have a very few irregular ones, which you probably already use every day, to be honest, because they're very common. Like good, in order to say that something is good in terms of adverbs, basically you have to use well. So I don't know, you're doing very well or something. Well, no, wait, that's something else. That's another way to use well. But so yeah, basically, I don't know, you did this thing very well, basically. Then fast just stays fast. So in order to say that you did something very fast, you don't need to add ly, and hard is the same and stays hard. Although you can find hardly in some sentences, but with a different meaning. If you say that you studied hard, it stays like that. But you can also say this is hardly fair or something. That's a completely different meaning. So welcome back, Mr. Silvanus. I think your connection might have abandoned you for a moment. So we're talking about adverbs of manner, which describe how something is done. I was just saying that the majority of these adverbs just add ly to adjectives, with a few exceptions. Those which end with a y becomes ily, and these few irregular ones just change completely or just stay the same completely. Good becomes well, fast stays fast, and the same for hard, basically. So this is mostly everything you need to know about how to form an adverb. It's actually fairly easy. You just imagine that the majority of these just add ly to the end, with a few exceptions, but I think the exceptions are so common that you probably will hear them a lot. Like well is something that you hear very, very often because it's such a common adverb, I guess. So I think I also no. So this would be the general explanation, let's say. Is it clear, or do you need to ask some questions about it before starting with the activity?
Miss, I kind of forget what is the adverb of bad.
Badly.
Badly.
Just stays badly.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Miss.
it's regular. It's only good that is irregular. So also sometimes in slang, especially American slang, sometimes you might hear things used a little bit differently. Sometimes you might hear like in slang sentences, you might hear something like you did very good, or something like that. Okay, you probably heard that you did very good, or something like that. But technically it should be well. It's just that oftentimes in slang you might find grammar a bit modified, not necessarily correct in the very sense of the word, but people might not use always grammar like, exactly. They might not follow it to a T necessarily. So yes. So do you have, Mr. Belsing asked me something. Mr. Silvanus, do you have any questions about this? Don't worry, if you don't understand something, you can ask.
Yeah, please ask. Because probably you just like come in the middle of the explanation. So
Yes.
if you're just a little bit like confused about this, so you can ask Miss Becky. Please ask.
Is it clear, Mr. Silvanus?
Is it clear? Mr. Silvanus, we cannot hear you. Still mute.
Yeah.
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I prepared quite a few examples to practice. We can see how many we need, how many you want to do. I have plenty, so it depends on what you want to do, because I also have the next topic ready in case we have some time left. So we'll see where it takes us. All right. So in this activity, I have prepared a few questions about that ask you about the way you would do something. So basically, if you don't need to know any complex structure with wood to answer this. Basically, this is asking you, in case you were to sing in the shower, how would you do it, basically? So you can just answer with the actual word or with the whole sentence. For example, you can say, I would sing in the shower very, I don't know, I would sing, I don't know, badly or something,
Commonly.
or yeah, or happily, or whatever you wish to say. It's just an exercise to practice the adverbs. So yeah, I mean, is the explanation clear? It's a very simple activity actually, but if you have any questions about it, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can just start.
May I try?
Of course, go ahead. So how would you sing in the shower?
I would sing in the shower. What? I usually sing in the shower.
Okay. How? Like, how would you, like, yeah, like the objective is to use an adverb to describe how you would do it. Because, with adverbs of manner, you basically describe the way something is done. So in this case, you could say that you would sing in the shower. This would basically kind of implies a sort of hypothetical situation, but you can also change the sentence and wait, take the tablet. You can also say how, as you said as well, how do you usually sing in the shower? Oh, that's what you said. You said that you usually sing in the shower as an adverb. Is that what you meant?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So okay. Sorry, I didn't get that. Actually, now this is actually correct, but usually is actually a different kind of adverb. Because it doesn't describe how it's done, but how often. So when it's how often, when the question is how often, it's actually an adverb of frequency. So it's still an adverb, it's correct, it's still an adverb, but it's technically, even though it's finishes with ly, it technically describes how often it happens. So it's slightly different. In this case, it would, I mean, you can say that, it's correct. The sentence is correct, saying that you usually sing in the shower, but it's not about the how, but the when, how often, basically. So I don't know, this question can be changed as well. Instead of using would, you can also say, how do you usually sing in the shower? I don't know, loudly, happily, I don't know, badly, or something, I guess.
So I would commonly sing in the shower.
Commonly?
Yes.
Okay, that's actually also an adverb of frequency, kind of like usually. Yes, okay, so the ones of frequency are all the ones that say how often you do it. So we have usually, always, I don't know, I mean,
Never.
commonly as well. Yes,
Oh,
never. Commonly, I mean,
okay,
commonly
I got
is in this case, it's a synonym of usually, basically, and so on. All those are adverbs of frequency. I mean, it's correct, but it doesn't say how. It only says how often.
Okay. So I would sing loudly.
Perfect.
Very loudly. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, all the sentences were correct. It's just a different type of adverb, but they were correct. So that was great. Okay. So, Mr. Silvanus, do you want to try next? How would you play badminton?
Me. You can't say proly, isn't it?
No, but you can say, I guess you would say like pro, if you want to use that expression. Yeah,
I don't know the synonym of it.
Yeah, you can say like a pro. I mean, you don't use li, but it's still the same thing. The meaning is that, like a pro. That's very internet slangy.
Yes.
Yeah, you can say that. You can say that you would do it like a pro. That's yeah. Some, you know, sometimes it doesn't translate into an adverb that finishes with ly, because it's, you know, a bit of a different concept, but the meaning is the same. So in this case, you can say, I would play badminton like a pro. That's correct. That's a correct sentence. Mr. Silvanus, do you want to try one as well? If you understood it, otherwise you can just ask us. Mr. Silvanus?
Yeah, Mr.
Are you there?
Silvanus. Mr. Silvanus.
No, that's me in the chat.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh.
Probably he just going to the bathroom.
Maybe possible. I mean, I have plenty of these, so we can, I don't know, go on for a while until maybe he shows up. I don't know. It's yeah.
Mr. Silvanus.
Okay.
Miss. Miss Becky.
You can go, yes. I guess.
No.
Go ahead.
I want to try. Can I say I play badminton very well? Can you say that?
Yes, perfect. Yeah, that's an example. For example, Okay. My brain is fried. It's too hot. It's an example of how to use the irregular of good, which is well. So I would do it very well. Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect example.
How about I play badminton superbly?
Superbly. Okay, yeah. That's good as well. Yes.
Okay.
That's a very it's a very elaborate word as well.
Yes, because I watch a lot of British videos.
Right. All posh or something. Are they posh? I always mock my English friends and I call them posh, but it's just a joke. I don't actually mean it. I love the British accent. So
yes.
All right. Yeah, that could be useful, when you'll have to write some academic stuff, I guess. It will be useful to know all these words. Okay. I don't know, Mr. Silvanus, are you there? I don't even know how to, I would like to hear whether he got it. He understood how to create an adverb, but
yeah, Mr. Silvanus, when you back, yeah, I think we have to chat him when he's back, so he can.
I already tried, but I didn't receive.
Yeah. Okay, so we were waiting, but we can still continue it.
Yeah. Mr. Balsink, you have basically personal tutors today because everybody is having a bad connection. So.
It's okay. Okay. Drive to work.
I know you probably can't drive yet.
Yes, because I haven't drive a car.
Yeah.
Or even a motorcycle because my dad didn't give me the permission.
Yeah, it was the same for me. I got when I was in high school, I actually got we have some kind of motorcycle driving license that we can get when we are, I think, 14 or 16. I can't
14.
remember. Yeah, there is one you can get at 14 for the small motorcycles, but the bigger ones you need to be 16, I think. You can be 14 for scooters, I think, but maybe they changed that because it's been a while. But I actually got the driver's license that I would need for scooters when I was in high school, but my dad didn't let me use his scooter because he was afraid I would hurt myself or something. So I had the driving license, but I couldn't drive, so I had to wait till I got 18 to get the real driving license, you know, the one for cars as well. But then he he didn't want me to use his car, so he said, if you want to drive, you need to buy yourself a car. So I had to work and and pay for a car, because otherwise I couldn't go anywhere here, because we don't have very good public transport. Otherwise I would just use those, you know. But yeah, I'm in an area where you need to get a car to go anywhere, because the public transport is not good. So yeah, but anyway, that's another story. So how would you drive to work if you actually, you know, you could actually spice it up as well. While we're waiting for Mr. Silvanus, you can spice it up if you wish, because you've already done a bit of the conditional clauses. You can make this a conditional sentence as well. You know, you can say that, you know, like, if I had a car, for example, if I had a car, I would drive, I don't know, and then you use some kind of adverb.
I would drive safely to work.
Awesome, safely, nice.
But if I manage to control my car very good or very well, then
yes.
I will drive to work rapidly.
Awesome, nice. Nice, awesome. Oh, you also used very well the first conditional clause. Nice. Okay, Mr. Silvanus, I don't know if you can hear us. I don't think so at this point, but I was asking Mr. Belsink about this other structure that he already did in our last lesson, just to, you know, do a bit of revision, since so many are having a bad signal right now. So we can, you know, like try to at least make this a bit more productive. Okay, I don't know. I actually have many of these. I don't know if it's too boring to do them all, especially if it's only you doing them. Let me know, Mr. Belsink, how many you actually want to do, because I actually, you know, I have quite a few here. So it's many of them. So you can tell me how many you want to do, whether you feel confident already with this material or not. And I mean, if it's too many for just one person, we can just move to the next thing as well. I don't know. What do you think?
Maybe I will do 3 more of them.
Okay. All right. Yeah, of course. All right. So, how would you paint a picture?
I don't need to think for this one, because I would paint very badly at a picture.
Oh no, why?
I can't draw. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, well,
maybe
you know.
I just can draw smiley face.
Well, that's something. Yeah, I mean, we all have different passions, obviously. Yes. So, all right.
Miss,
I
want to ask.
Yes, go ahead.
Can I say worstly for the previous one?
No, you wouldn't, because that would be mixing two different forms. So bad becomes worse in the comparative form, right? So when you say worse or worse, this is the comparative one, and this is the superlative one. So you can say that you could say, I would write in a worse way than my sister or something like that. You could say that. In that case, you can add the word way to make it some kind of, I don't know if it's still considered an adverb, but the meaning would be that. So a word in a worse way than XX. This would make sense. You could say I would paint in a worse way than my sister, than Miss Putri, than I don't know, whoever.
Okay.
But yeah, badly is yeah, the only way you would make the adverb with ly. So you use the basic form of bad. All right. So how would you wait for flight?
Would wait for flight passionately.
Mm-hmm. Passionate? Did you say passionately or patiently?
Oh no, passionate. Or it's patient. I don't know. Passionate.
What do you mean to say?
Like I write. Passion. Oh no, I mixed up. Yeah, the bottom one.
Okay, patiently. Okay, because it sounded a little bit like passionately. So it's pronounced patiently.
Patiently.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, wow. So you would wait better than me, I guess. I'm very impatient. I'm very impatient when I have to wait for stuff. That's why, like when I have to go out with friends, I'm always late because I don't like to wait.
What is passionately means?
Passionately means with passion. You know what passion means?
Yes, I know.
Okay, so basically, yeah, so I guess it's a little bit irregular as well. Let me check. I guess it's a little bit irregular. No, actually, no, it's not. Now that I think about it, because passion is the noun, but passionate is the adjective. So you still add only ly. So it's regular. Yeah, so patiently means with patient and passionately means with passion. This is so low quality, but it was so hard to find. No, because, like with pictures, I try to use Creative Commons pictures so that, the copyright is allowed. But it's so hard to find good ones and diverse ones as well. It's like, oh my gosh, you have no idea. So yeah, forgive this bad quality, but I was like, I'm not gonna stay like 2 hours looking for a picture that doesn't exist. So all right, so how would you play the drums?
I play drums, but I don't know. I would play drums quietly because I don't want to disturb the other people around me.
Nice. Yeah,
so I usually use headphones. Yeah.
You can do that with drums?
Yes.
Really? I didn't
with
know that.
electric drums or maybe on mobile or PC.
I know it.
Okay. I did, because I play the piano. I don't know if I told you, but mine is also electric, so I can plug in the headphones. Yeah, but I didn't know it was possible with drums as well. So nice, awesome. And there are so many awesome kind of machines that nowadays they use for, even live performances, where you're probably familiar with it. Those where you can actually put on loop what you're singing, or put like some kind of beatboxing on loop and all those kind of things.
I know.
They're quite cool. I'd like to learn to use them someday, but I probably won't.
I would like to learn piano, but I don't have the piano right now.
Yeah, we actually have here we have, I don't know, maybe a weird system, a weird educational system. Basically, I don't even know if it exists any longer, but when I went to middle school, we had different kinds of middle schools we could choose, all public ones, and we had normal middle schools or bilingual middle schools, and also musical middle schools. So basically, besides the regular lessons that you would get in middle school, like history, geography, science, I don't know, maths and all that kind of stuff, you would also get music lessons, like integrated in the program. So you would, depending on the instrument you chose, you could actually study them in the regular program. So that's why even though I use it for much more fun stuff than the classical stuff they had me learn, but I do it for songs that I actually like to sing and something like that. Okay, so I don't know, Mr. Silvanus, can you hear us? Or I don't know, because I don't think Mr. Belsing can just do them all. We had those 3 we talked about. If you're here, Mr. Silvanus, you can maybe try a few ones. Otherwise, I don't know, we might have to move on. I have no idea. It's a bit confusing with all these technical problems, I guess.
Yeah, Mr. Silvanus.
Okay. So we can also look at this at the end, but especially for those who couldn't log in today, I thought about, I'm trying to change the type of homework as well, because I don't know, I'm trying to use more interactional kind of homework that hopefully might help you a bit more. So if any of the ones who didn't manage to join, or even you, Mr. Belsing, but I think you got how to construct adverbs. So I mean, it's just if you want to practice some more, but I think you're pretty good at this. So yeah, if you want, you can pair up and play a battleship game. I have the instructions here and an example sheet here, from which I will give you a better copy of. Basically, the 2 students have the usual grid from Battleship. I don't know if you've ever played it, but it's a pretty basic grid. And you can start writing down these adverbs in the grid, kind of like as if it were a ship. And then basically you play in turns by calling the coordinates where you want to see whether there is a ship. For example, I don't know, B4 or something, and then the other person will tell you whether you missed the ship or whether you got one. And they will also, if you got it, they will also tell you the letter they put in, so that you can start writing it down on your own grid. And once you've found a whole word, you can sync it by saying a correct sentence with that word. And basically you can continue until you finish the game. So that would be one option. Otherwise, there is also, I also found this digital version of a battleship game with adverbs, in which you can just play with the computer. It's very simple. It just basically it asks you to kind of in a similar way, it asks you to say, like, answer to a question regarding adverbs and adjectives in order to sink the ship. So it's a very similar thing. But so this could be a good way to practice using the adverbs even from home. But you know, I mean, all the homework is kind of for you more than it is for me. So it's not like you have to do it. If you, and also I think that you guys know like what you need for your own learning. So I think it's something that I would like you to develop as well, the capacity to know what you need and to understand your learning needs, and also tell me if you have some advice on that, because I think that in general, like, learning how to assess your own progress is very useful for learning a new language or anything else, I think. So yes, I will send you these slides. If it's only us, I don't know. I guess you got it, Mr. Belsing. I don't know if Mr. Silvanus understood how to create.
Understands.
Yeah.
If we just like, if I just like send it to the group and they just like read this, hopefully they understand, right?
Yeah, I will send to you. Just give me a second. Or maybe should I send it now or later? What do you think?
Now it doesn't matter, whatever.
Okay, just give me a second.
Okay,
so
later also okay.
So now we still have about half an hour. So I think we could do two different things. One would be to go on with the material, which has similar has the same topics that we already tackled, Mr. Belsing, but I put some new slightly different materials so that those that already did it won't get too bored. But if nobody else is listening, I don't know if there are some people listening to us on YouTube, if Mr. Silvanus can hear us or what, because an alternative, I can also show you a few of the most common mistakes from the test we did, in case you want to take a look at some points of revision. It's up to you. I mean, we can just go on with the material, or we can also, I mean, since it's only you, basically, we can also just take a look at that stuff as well. But it's more explanation based and less activity based, so it depends on what you would like to do, I guess.
I would like to see the revision from previous test.
Okay, all right, just give me a second then, because I don't think the others are listening, right, Miss Putri?
Yeah,
it would make more sense to just
I don't know, should I text him?
I don't know, I mean, maybe, I don't know, because I already, you know, wrote in the chat, but I guess, I don't know, didn't see it, or maybe it's just, I don't know, the internet is not collaborating, I don't know. Okay, so I'll send you via WhatsApp the slides, so that in case people are trying to access the material. I can still do that. And then I'll just show you the revision, Mr. Bossing. Just give me a moment. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is what I had prepared now that I think about it. I think now you can tell me what we did the last time because it's been a while and I'm sending it, Miss Putri. I think it's taking a while. Okay. So I think we might have already done this. There are two things I had prepared after the test. You can tell me, Mr. Belsink, I'll show you, and you can tell me whether we already did this or not.
Okay, so I'll set it.
Did you receive it?
Yes.
Oh yeah, awesome. All right. Okay. So had we already seen this one? Do you remember? You know, with all the most common mistakes. Do you remember?
Yes, I remember, but not in PowerPoint.
Oh, okay.
But directly from the.
Okay. I probably sent it to you. I probably explained it from the test directly, and then I just sent you the PowerPoint. Then I guess we can focus on this because this is a mistake that this is a problem that I think is very, very, very common, probably because of the different structure in Indonesian. As far as I know, you don't use articles, right? In Indonesian. Am I correct?
Pardon? Can you repeat again?
Yes, you don't use articles in Indonesian, right?
I don't think so, right, Mr. Belsink?
Yes, maybe we do. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't.
Oh, okay. I thought you didn't.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. Okay.
Do we have it?
Can you give me an
apple, just like an apple. An apple, something like that.
For example, yeah, like the articles a, the, an, etc.
Apple.
Satu apple, sebuah apple.
Yes, maybe actually does have, but not that much.
Okay.
Maybe like for one single thing. Sebuah.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah, probably no idea.
Okay, then I guess the first difference between when you would use an article and when you wouldn't is the difference between countable and uncountable words. So basically, countable words are all those things that you can actually count, which doesn't always, it's not always the same as in other languages. What is countable and what is uncountable, sometimes it's different from one language and the other. But generally speaking, I guess intuitively, countable things are those of which you can actually say how many there are. Whereas uncountable are usually either things that can't be counted, like, I don't know, liquids, for example, or
Sugar.
Big quantities, yeah. Or abstract concepts like, you know, love, I don't know, anger, or all those kind of things. Those general concepts that, you know, don't have a quantity, or just a general thing. So this would be the first difference. We can maybe, I don't know, can you think of any words that are countable and other that are uncountable?
Apples, pencils,
Mm-hmm.
phones, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Some uncountable
Vegetables,
ones.
uncountable. Water, milk, sugar, salt.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
great. Yeah, perfect. All right. So I know this is actually this is quite a basic material in one sense, but the use of the correct use of articles is sometimes more difficult than one can think, especially if you start talking about more complex things, I guess. So in English, sometimes you use the definite article, which is the. Sometimes you use the indefinite article, which is a or n, and sometimes you don't use an article at all. So it can seem tricky sometimes, but I think once you understand the intuitive and I guess intuitive idea behind it, it becomes much more easy to use. Also because if you maybe read a lot, I think you see the connotations in which you use one or the other. So the definite article is used when you're talking about a specific kind of something. I put an example here. Put the flowers on the table. So which flowers? The ones that you have right now in your hands. So you can put those flowers on the table. If you say, by the way, this can be used for the plural as well, but n and a can only be used for the singular. When you want to talk about plural things with an indefinite connotation, you would use some as an equivalent. So if you want to say that, if you want to ask the other person or tell the other person to put flowers on the table, but like in some kind of any kind of flowers, not just the ones you have right now in your hands, but just any kind of flowers, it doesn't matter which ones, then you can say put some flowers on the table. So both the sentence put the flowers on the table and the sentence put some flowers on the table, both are correct, but the meaning is different. If you're saying put the flowers on the table, you're talking about specific kinds of flowers, that the other person already know what you're talking about. Whereas in the if you say some flowers, you're asking about any kind of flowers, it doesn't matter which one. Here's another example. There's a dog in the garden. What dog? A non-specified dog. So a dog that you don't know about. Just any dog is there. You can say that there is our dog or the neighbor's dog, and that's more specific. Or there is, I don't know, the dog is maybe a bit more uncommon because I don't know, you would usually just use the personal the possessives, I guess, but you could say that, I guess. in a way. So basically, so this is the main difference between the and a or some, is that one talks about a very specific one, and this the indefinite one is more just any kind. You can see this example even in when you say, for example, when you use of, okay, as in terms of possession. So you can say the president of Indonesia. So that's the president, you know, the only president that is there right now of Indonesia. Because when there is only one in that case, it's a very specific one. It's the same for the USA, for example. You say the USA, the United States of America. It's the same construction. There is that of part. The United Kingdom, etc. So that's a few examples in which in the test itself there were some problems. Even in the superlatives, okay, in the superlatives, many of you guys I think were a bit confused about the article in the superlatives. So the article in the superlative version of an adjective is essential. It's part of the superlative. So you say the best, you can just say best, okay, or the fastest car in the world. So in that case, for example, the article is necessary. However, you do not use an article when you're talking about very generic things. And this, I think, is the trickiest one. It's even a little bit more advanced of a concept. It's something that you usually learn not as the basics. I mean, the difference between the and a or an are something that you learn usually at the beginning of the language, but not using the article is something that usually comes with a little bit more experience. But it's something that is very, very useful to make your sentences sound even more native, I think. You can say, I love flowers, just in general. I just love flowers as a general thing. Or I love, I don't know, I like philosophy. So as a general concept, philosophy as a subject to study. Or I don't know, love is so important or something. It's just a general concept. It doesn't have, and some of these are uncountable, but not all of them. So love, for example, is uncountable, but flowers are not. And in this sentence, you still use it with no article because it's generic. That happens especially with plurals, with some plurals, when you're talking in a generic sense. So yeah, this is, I think, one thing you could do is, or I can send you maybe some material if you want, is practice with this, like when to use an article, when not to use it, because it's so, it's something, it's I think it's a kind of a hunch that you need to develop as well. With practice, because it's a little bit trickier to explain it than to actually learn with practice, I think. Here there are a few examples. On how to use it, which is basically similar to what I've said already. So yeah, this is actually a very useful tip. So when you're in a conversation or you're writing a text, whatever kind of essay of some sort, when you first introduce something, you use the indefinite article. But afterwards, since we know what you're talking about, you can use the definite one. There is an example here. Okay, I saw a beautiful bird in my garden. Here it's indefinite because it's just a general bird. But then, because you already introduced the subject, you can say, when it tried to get closer, the bird flew away. So the bird basically means the ones that I saw earlier. So it's a very specific one. Whereas here, because it's the first time you're talking about it, it's in general terms. Another one would be a unique noun. So as I said earlier, okay, like an example would be the USA, the capital, the second, the best, the sun, the moon, etc. I mean, those are just, one. So it's something specific. That's the same for superlatives or things that, have a name or the order of things. All these examples express some kind of uniquity. That's not a word, is it? Uniquity, is that a word? Maybe I just made it up, I'm not sure. Anyway, it's something unique, okay? And that's why you're using the definite article. And then with countable plurals or nouns that are used in general terms, you don't use an article. I love dogs. Elephants in general are bigger than tigers. When we're talking about elephants in general, okay, just elephants as the species or the animal species. But if you're talking about, like in the test, okay, if we're talking about a zoo, you see one elephant and I don't know 3 tigers, then it's the elephant in the zoo is bigger than the tigers because you're talking about the specific ones in the picture, for example. And I put a link here of a video that explains this stuff quite nicely if you want to review it. Just let me see because okay. So yes, this would be the main instances in which you would use, the different kinds of articles. Is it clear, or do you have any questions, Mr. Belsing?
I understand, Miss.
Okay.
I don't have any question for now.
Okay, awesome.
Probably
okay,
some example, Miss Becky.
I actually I had prepared a game which I forgot about because I did this like almost 2 months ago now. So okay, so this game, I mean, we can also, because it's only us, we can also do it differently, like more simply. But it's a game about how to use the article with a few sentences, and we need to understand whether they're right or wrong. So by looking at the sentence, you can decide, whether it's right or wrong. And I mean, if you want, there is this variant. You can bet from 10 to 100, depending on how sure you are of your answer. And then we can see how, who wins amongst us, I guess. But I mean, it's only us. So there is no other students. So I don't know who you're racing against, but we can still do it if you wish, or we can just do it simply by looking at the sentence and deciding what's wrong and what's right. What would you like to do?
I would like to try that because it seems to be fun.
All right. All right. So I guess we can start. Okay. Haha. Okay. So this is the first sentence. This is not the easy sentence. Right or wrong?
I bet 80. It's wrong.
Come again, sorry. The connection went away for a second.
The sentence is wrong
Why?
because I think the correct one is this is not an easy sentence.
Yes, correct. Yay.
Awesome.
Just 180. Awesome. So the first one is correct. All right. The second one is Monica lives in an old house.
I bet 80 again. The correct one is un because the next word is old and it started with O, so you have to use N.
Yes, you're killing this. Awesome. Also, a tip. So I mean, you probably know, but so these are the vowels, right? These are the vowels. Now you use N not only when you have these, but I mean not these specifically, but when you have a vowel sound. So that means that the sound can come from something that is not necessarily starting with one of these, because the way you're pronouncing the words sometimes changes and it's not necessarily, it doesn't sound like a vowel sound. An example would be let me think. Maybe hair, no, air, sorry, because in this case, I don't know if you know what an air is. Okay, so when someone is very rich and can give some money to their children when they die, so they can, the person coming next to them, the one inheriting, the stuff, I don't know, the house, the money, whatever, that's an heir. That's an heir.
Okay, I get it.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, in this case, I think so, yeah. The H is silent. So in this case, the H is not pronounced. So basically, the sound is like a vowel. It's air. So it sounds like a vowel. It's not hair, like for example, like hair, but it's air. So in that case, because you don't pronounce the H, it's treated like as if it were a vowel. So in this case, even though there is an H, you put N anyway. And this happens with a few words. So you would say an air, for example. But you would say, I don't know,
Q,
say again?
Q. Key, A.
Q.
Like
Q.
Like this?
No. Q,
Q.
with actual Q. Yeah.
The queen, Q.
Queen. U.
No,
A.
that's normal. A queen. But let me think about, I need to find some examples to give you, because now that I'm trying to think about them, they don't come to my mind, but there are a few. An example, I think. Yes, I hope I'm not wrong, because now I'm questioning myself as well. Yeah, banana. Okay. University is a university, because because university doesn't sound like an actual, because you say you don't say, it's so complicated to explain, but like the sound is not the one of a vowel. If you try to say N university, it actually, like, the point of using the N is to make pronunciation easier, okay? Because sometimes some words, if you think about where you put your tongue when you pronounce words, okay, you put your tongue in different parts of the mouth. So when the sounds are in a very close part of the mouth, you can't pronounce them one after the other, because it's like a tongue twister. So the point of putting N is to make the pronunciation easier. So maybe try to, if you're undecided with some words, you can try and say it and see which sounds easier to say. In this case, if you try and say N university, I think it's more difficult than saying a university.
Yes.
So in that case, it's because in this case, U is not a vowel sound. So yeah, that's just something, a trick I wanted to tell you for some exceptions. All right, we still can do a few before leaving. So this sentence is: last Friday, my friend took me to a nice restaurant. What do you say?
I weighed 90.
Mm-hmm.
The sentence is correct.
Like, you're right or wrong?
Right.
Oh, okay. Okay. Actually, yeah, it's correct.
My G.
Yes, it's correct. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. All right. What about this? The gold is yellow.
It doesn't make any sense. Adam, the gold
Why?
is the color gold.
No,
Why
but
is
like,
it
it's also
yellow?
the material. It's also the material. I mean, the material is, I mean, of course it's gold as a color, but
Yes.
it's kind of yellow. Come on, it's just don't pay. Okay, maybe you can change gold with silver and say that it's gray. I don't know. It's grayish. Let's say silver is grayish.
Oh, that
That
makes
means
sense.
it
Okay,
still doesn't
okay.
make sense. Okay, so you can
It's
say
makes
gold
sense.
is gold. The gold is gold. Then
Yes, obviously.
it's okay. So, but still, we're talking about articles. So, what do you think about this?
I bet 50.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's correct
Mm-hmm. Why?
because uh, uh, I usually try and error, so I choose the one who sounds better. So like a gold is yellow doesn't make any sense, and gold is yellow, or gold is yellow more doesn't make any sense. So this is the correct one, I think.
Okay. Personally, I would say gold is yellow.
What?
Yes, it's in general, because you're talking in general, right?
Gold is gold. What happened?
Okay.
What happened?
Yes, okay. Gold is gold then. But yeah, in this case, I would talk in general terms. It's just, yeah, because you're just saying it's a category. You're just saying gold in general is gold.
Yes.
Gold is gold.
Yeah.
Or you can say tea is tasty. I don't know, something like that.
Yes.
Or I don't know. trying to think of examples. They never come to my mind when I need them. But yeah, you know, it's just you're talking in general terms. So that's why I would say that. I guess we can do one last one, and then maybe I will send you these slides. So if you want, you can finish them as well. And I mean, it's kind of sort of. I mean, it's they're quite quick, but they might be a useful I don't know, practicing exercise, I guess. So this one: how often do you go to a dentist? Right or wrong? Some are tricky, I will tell you. Some of these sentences are tricky. Oh, we have Mr. Sylvanus back.
Often do you?
Wrong.
Why?
Okay.
The right one is how often do you go to dentist without a?
Without anything?
Without a.
Okay. So just
without the article.
So just how often do you go to dentist?
Yes.
Almost. So this one is a bit tricky. It would be, how often do you go to the dentist?
Yes.
So this one is a little bit tricky, because obviously if you talk about, the point here is that usually you're talking about a specific dentist. That's in most of the time you're talking about a specific one. And also because you're talking about a place of some sort, not only the person. So this one is tricky, but you would say it, you would always use the in this kind of sentences. So for example, how often do you go to the hairdresser? How often do you go to the mall? So in this case, the dentist, yeah, it's a person, of course, but the general meaning is more, it's also the place of some kind, right? So it's the same for doctors or I don't know, whatever else, because you're actually talking about the studio. So so it's like it's a bit of a specific example, but very useful because these sentences are very common. I don't know, I think our time is up technically. So I do have a few more. Maybe I can send them to you if you want to practice articles. And then I will send you the other slides as well if you wish to practice, because Mr. Silvanus, we actually did some exercises with adverbs as well earlier.
Yes.
Unfortunately though,
I think
oh yeah, go ahead.
I can watch it on YouTube.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, so because actually Mr. Belsink already did the adverbs, and unfortunately everyone's internet had some problems.
Right.
We moved to this thing, which was a common mistake in the last test we did, which is the use of articles, which seems basic, but actually some sentences, as you saw, some sentences can be tricky even with the article. So you can definitely watch on YouTube, and I also prepared some activities that you can do at home in pairs to practice. So I guess if you have any questions about it, you can always ask Miss Putri, and she can ask me. And you can try and see whether the topic was understandable or whether you still have some questions. We focused on two very specific things so that we can actually move to the next topic altogether. Did you have some internet problems, Mr. Silvanus? Is that why we couldn't see you?
No. The
Oh.
connection is good.
Oh, okay. Because we couldn't hear you for like, I don't know, about an hour or something. We didn't know where you were. We couldn't see you or hear you. We're like, oh my gosh, where is he? What happened?
I'm a bit busy with my job.
I see.
That makes sense.
I understand. Well, thank you for trying to be here anyway. That's very appreciated. We really hope next time you can participate in the activities, because I guess practicing is what makes us improve, you know. But don't worry, I can totally understand being busy. I'm always like that as well, so don't worry. Miss Putri
Right.
as well, she works all the time. She's working. So
Hey, not always. Come on. Okay.
all right.
So the PowerPoint is the same as you sent before, right? Because I already sent it to the group.
Yeah, the one I sent you about adverbs. Yeah, but this one I
Yeah.
don't think I sent it to you. So I will prepare this as I will save it as a PDF so that it's usable
Oh,
on
okay.
WhatsApp as well.
Okay.
And let me just save it here. All right. I think. Okay, I will just send it to you so that you can put it on the group. The instructions for the homework you can do if you wish to. Homework. It's more like activities you can do with others to practice. Let's see it that way. If you want, they're all in the slides, but if you have questions, you can ask. I guess doing them helps you practicing, but you know, you're not doing a favor to me. It's just, you know, might be just helpful for you to practice, but I don't gain anything more. So it's something you should do. If you do it, you should do it for yourself to improve, you know. All right. So yeah, that's it, I guess.
Okay, then I hope that next week we can have a very good signal for everyone, so they can
I hope
like
so,
join
because
in.
I have a few games prepared, so it would be nicer with more people.
My internet also is a little bit lagging before. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay
me too.
then. Yeah. Okay, then thank you very much for today's lesson, Miss Becky, and also all of you. Your presence is so important for us, and hopefully we can see each other again next week. Yeah. Don't forget about the homework. Okay.
Homework, not homework.
Yeah, homework. Have a good day and have a good rest for all of you. Have a good night.
day.
Bye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for today.
Bye.
Yeah. Take care.